Alright, so this is a game that's a little farther along, and I'll choose it to kind of give you a tour of the whole interface. So here now in the news window that pops up, you can see a lot more is going on. It's showing the different players who are capturing and exploring. We're in day 2 of this game. As I said, the game goes until day 10, at which point a winner is determined. Um, so here we can see in some foreign affairs of someone's declared war on me here. And also some attacks, some exploration and capture. All right, so in this game here, you see the map is, we've explored a lot more of the map, and I also have an ally. So my allies' cities and units appear as gold colored, and here's my enemy down here. His things appear as red, and I appear in this aqua color. Now, I've got since I last logged in, it looks like I captured these cities, so I should actually produce something out of them. I'll just do that now. Let's see, it's often a good idea to make infantry near your front lines, and then in your interior cities you can use them to produce research. Um, Bases produce research, as well as cities that are making zeppelins and engineers. Maybe I'll make an engineer here. If you just pick research, it produces it as two cities, as two research stations. All right, then typically what I'll do when I log in is I'll start by going to my Units tab, and the ones that appear in green are new units that have been produced since I last logged in, and the ones in red are units that have gained mobility since I last logged in. And I'll just cycle through. I typically start with my exploration units just to um, find out, where I can send my units to. So let's just go do a bit of exploring with these patrol boats here. So patrol boats, you can see, have a visual range of 2. Ah, there you go. There's some land I can capture. Um, Most units have a visual range of 1, but patrol boats, they're really about exploring. They have a minimal attack value. They can attack for 1 hit point of damage. Boy, I really got lucky in this game. I had 2 big islands with lots of cities right beside me. All right, let's see. I've got a transport here with a bunch of infantry ready to go. But it can barely reach that island. Looks like maybe if I move my supply up here. Actually, I'll just take a moment to show you the supply tab. That's one way to manage your supply. If you go here, it shows you, it sort of grays out the areas that are covered by your ports with supply, and your supply ships, and these little lines are showing supply lines. So if I move this guy over here, now I can see I've got a broader supply coverage. All right, so let's go back to my transport ship here, and you can just barely reach that. All right, and now I will use these infantry to capture these. Let me just turn the sound off. Here's capture this one. I'm choosing those who had 4 mobility, those infantry. I'm picking the low mobility ones to get the. Oh wow, this is a nice map for me. And I can't quite reach that. So let's see, it's 640. Looks like I'm better off waiting till my transport can move. Although it is risky if an enemy comes down here and shoots my transport before I can unload it, but I'll take that chance. So let's just make some forts here to ramp up my. I'll go for research there. Okay, and you see what I just did there was I said take this infantry and move it into this fort over here, but he only had 1 mobility and there's 2 squares to move. So it put a black line there to indicate that the next time it gains mobility will automatically move to that city. Kind of like a waypoint, but for units. Cities have waypoints, but their waypoints are red. Units have waypoints and their lines are black. So we see the unit tab here. So basically it has groups them into naval units, air units, and land units. And lastly, when you get to higher technology levels, there'll be some technology units such as satellites and ICBMs. Here's my list of cities now. You can see it's a lot bigger, and I can see at a glance what I'm building in each of the cities. And also they can be grouped by what island they're on. The different islands have different IDs. This is a log that shows all of the activity that's happens, and this is particularly useful if you get attacked when you're not logged in. You can look and see how the attack went. If you click on there, it actually tells you the details of the battle down here, how much damage was done in the attack, etc. Here's a list of players. So you can see this game has 6 players, and they've already paired up into alliances, so there are 3 teams now. Oh, and it looks like with those captures, I've now, me and Curious have now surpassed the competition here. This is just a list of commands that I've done. If you're running into problems and you're getting errors, you can consult this to see you know, what those errors were. And lastly, planning is, this tells you what's going to be coming in the future. So by 3 this afternoon, some of my units will gain some ability. That's the red, and the green ones are I'll get an infantry created in this sector over here. And lastly, supply, I already told you about that. Just maybe a couple of other screens to take you through. So one is inbox, so that the system has a little kind of a mail system. So there's a message board where players can all exchange messages with one another. Inbox is for private messages between players, and it also keeps track of the messages you've sent to the other players. News, we've seen stats becomes more relevant later in the game, and it lets you, gives you a sense of how you're doing against the other players, how many units you've killed, they've killed, and kind of who's basically winning that battle. Technology, and this is actually worthwhile to have here. This gives you some details about the game at the top. So when the game is ending, as you get closer to the end, you're going to want to know your power limit. So there is a limit to the number of units you can have in the game, dictated by the number of cities and capital ships you have. So that here you can see I've got a lot of ways to go to building up my unit. The radar distance increases from my radar stations as my technology goes up. Command points, every command that I do in the game costs command points. Certain activities such as creating new cities with engineers are very expensive for command points. Most though just cost 1 or 2 command points. Like moving is 1 and attacking is 2. And here's the rate at which I'm generating command points right now, which is 16. So here you can see all of the different type of technology units in the game. The ones that are dark gray, are unavailable. The ones that are white, I can build now. The ones that are dark gray, I can't build. And the ones that are light gray, I'm going to be able to build soon. So right here you can see my current technology level is 2.5. And in a day, based on, I've got 10 technology centers right now. So that's basically my radar stations. Where I'm building Zeppelins and engineers count for 1. Where I have research stations, those count for 2. And there's a formula that basically generates that. And from Bleed, I'm actually getting technology from the other players and from my ally who may actually be researching more technology than me. So that all adds up to my daily technology gains. So it looks like probably in about 6 hours or so, I'll be able to start building destroyers. And as the game technology goes up, all the way up to the highest tech units, which are these ICBMs, which destroy everything in their blast radius. And the highest technology ICBM 3s destroy everything in quite a large blast radius. But that, it's games typically end around technology 14. It's rare that it makes all the way up to 16. So that's the technology tab. Let's see. I think that's basically it. So I hope that gives you a sense of how the game works. Hope to see you in a game.